Hi Black Exoticals, welcome back to my channel. This is the Black Exotical. Today I want to talk to you about the types of women to stay away from. Um, a part of leveling up, attaining your pretty privilege, and just overall becoming a better person is knowing who to stay away from. This is as equally as important as knowing who to connect with and who to network with, because being around the wrong types of people can be detrimental literally to your life and to your progress. Just look at what happened to Shanquella Robinson. She was a well-known entrepreneur who was doing amazingly well for herself, and she met her untimely end because of haters. So I just want to give you a list in no particular order of the type of women that you should stay away from on your level up journey so that you can continue to level up with a clear conscience and so that you can level up safely and know who to look for along the way. So, first is the male identified woman. This is the woman that believes that men can do no wrong. This is the woman that believes that the woman is always at fault. This is the type of woman that doesn't hold men accountable, even when there is glaring evidence that he is guilty of what he has been accused of. Instead of her showing grace to those who have been victimized or just simply keeping her mouth shut, you will hear her shouting from the rooftops about how we need to show grace to the offender. A prime example of this is Kelly Price, where most recently she dropped a very tone deaf and irrelevant prayer underneath Diddy's fake apology video to Cassie. Another example is Kelly Rowland, who said something similar about Chris Brown and how we need to show grace to Chris Brown, yada, yada, yada. And another example of this is Jill Scott. Notice any differences, any similarities between the three women? This is a common trait found within the Black community where a lot of Black women tend to side with Black men, thinking that these men can do no wrong and simply just pandering for their attention. Stay away from these type of men, because God forbid if you ever become the victim or on the receiving end of any sort of injustice at the hands of male abusers, these women will gladly and quickly throw you under the bus. Similarly to the male identified woman, the second type of woman to stay away from is women who pander to the manosphere. Now, YouTube is a cesspool for manosphere type content, and a lot of times you will see women in the comments clapping their booty cheeks to what the men are saying with hopes to score brownie points from these men. You'll even see some women's empowerment, BWE influencers holding space for these men to sort of prove themselves or redeem themselves or pander and maybe convert Black women, mixed race women, exoticals, um, over to the dark side, if you will, and to kind of, I guess, hold grace for these men. Stay away from these women. If they are on one hand telling you how to level up and telling you that you are their main priority and that they're all about women's empowerment and that they advocate for you, but then they are turning around and colluding with the men who despise your very existence, that should tell you everything that you need to know about that woman. She is not in fact for you. She is in fact against you and for the enemy. Similar to the last two is the pick me. The pick me is a type of woman that will do whatever it takes to get male validation, including throwing you under the bus, pointing out your flaws, taking any opportunity to sort of embarrass you or call you out or diminish her own interests in order to sort of gain favor with the male gaze. This type of woman is feeble minded, and even red pill manosphere dudes do not like this type of woman because she doesn't stand for anything. Next type of woman to stay away from is the stud that likes to put on the caricature of a stereotypical black man. Now, I know that this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but these women will try to present themselves as a better version of a man, quote unquote, and will try to pander to black exoticals, black women, what have you, but will simultaneously put on caricatures of stereotypical black men, whether it is objectifying women, being a womanizer themselves, being abusive. There are quite a few examples of this. So if you are a woman who is into other women, steer clear of the stud who likes to act like the worst type of man out there. Another type of woman to stay away from is the woman who hates men. This is the extreme opposite of the pick me and the male identified women. These women are just bitter, angry, unhealed, and they just carry a lot of baggage. And we know that baggage is detrimental to your growth and it will get you absolutely nowhere. If you have some sort of unresolved trauma with some man that hurt you in your life, fix that before you try to embark upon this journey. Whether you are hoping to obtain a suitor or be in a relationship with a man or not, holding on to any sort of bitterness or resentment will serve you no good, and it's honestly a distraction because that is what will be your primary focus. Any little thing that represents the person who hurt you and the trauma that you're going through will just trigger you and set you back instead of pushing you forward to the next point in life, the next level in life. And if you do desire to be in a healthy relationship with a man, having man issues and resentment to the opposite sex will not work in your favor. You will only attract the losers that you want to stay away from. Now, for this next group of women, I really didn't know what title to name them, so I just said non racialized women who hate black exoticals. This can be non black women, non exotical women, or even other exotical women who try to use race and color as a way to make other exoticals feel less than. An example of that would be Iggy Azalea and Danny Lee. Iggy Azalea and both Danny Lee, I know they have different yet similar stories, and the woman that Danny Lee kind of had her beef with were also problematic. However, when you are a celebrity, you are coached by a publicist, an agent, whoever, on the importance of optics and the importance of being careful of what you put out. And if you make the conscious decision to say something detrimental, especially against women from your fan base, that says a lot about your true intention. And both Iggy Azalea and Danny Lee have said, have shown their true intentions and how they feel, their true feelings about exotical women in the past. These women are not your friends. These women try to pit women against each other, and we're all about sisterhood over here, so stay away from those type of women. And last but not least, stay away from the social justice warrior. She is similar to the woman that hates men in that she has a victim mentality and thinks that the world is against her, when quite frankly, other people are just minding their own business and just trying to go through life. This woman creates a mountain out of an anthill. She sees everything as an obstacle, everything as a problem, and just has victim mentality written on her forehead. And while she thinks in her mind that she is advocating and standing for a good cause, at the end of the day, she just makes a lot of noise instead of working to change her situation to ultimately have a better life. This type of person will also try to encourage you to see life through that lens and will discourage you from leveling up and using your pretty privilege and whatever resources you have to get ahead. Stay away from this woman. She will be your demise. And just in summary, a quick note about all of these women. They all have one thing in common in that if they could trade places with you as an exotical, they totally would. Most of them, if most of these women will use a talking point of, "Oh, why do you use being exotic?" Or "Why do you use being multiracial or ambiguous as your entire personality? Why does that matter?" When most of them, especially monoracial black women or unambiguous black women, will make being black their entire identity and will do so unapologetically. But then when you turn around and say, "Well, hey, I want to celebrate my phenotype and my identity," it's a problem. So keep pushing forward in celebrating yourself and being proud of your identity and your heritages, because as I said, if they had the opportunity to trade places with you, they totally would. Okay? Let me know which type of women you have encountered, and let me know what groups of women I have missed down below in the comment that you should stay away from, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.